What's up, guys? Today I'm trying something a little bit weird. I decided for whatever reason to put my video in black and white. I accidentally did it with the settings in OBS and it actually looked kind of cool. So thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you guys think? It's not something I'm going to be doing all the time, of course, but I just wanted to try it out today. Just kind of had a cool look and wanted to switch it up. But today's video, I want to talk about a comment that I got on my YouTube channel a few weeks back, and I'm not going to share the username or even show you the screenshot of the comment. The point of this video is not to pick on this subscriber or draw any attention to them or anything like that, but they brought up something very important, and I want to kind of talk about that topic with you guys here. For some of you that might be on this crossroads of thinking, should you just keep your day job and make music just for fun, for your own enjoyment, or should you really seriously go down the path of trying to make music your full-time income through sync licensing? And this was the essence of the subscriber's comment on my video. Basically what he said is, well, Jesse, it sounds like what you're telling people to do through sync licensing is essentially sell out, make really cheesy, crappy music that nobody really wants to make for garbage reality shows, garbage commercials, just, infomercials, just nonsense on TV. Essentially sell your soul and stop creating music that you really want to create so that you can basically start to make full-time income with this. And he said, no thanks, I don't want to do any of that. I want to just have my day job, come home, and make the music that I want to make just for my own purposes. I find that to be much more enjoyable. So two parts of that question. Obviously, the first part is the selling out issue, making cheesy jingles, making music for stuff you don't care about, or just making music you don't really care about, and just having to sort of quote unquote sell out to get your tracks placed. This is probably a misconception on the subscriber's part, and I understand, because if you're thinking about like traditionally what kind of music gets placed on TV, we think sometimes about the old, commercials, the old jingles from the 80s and 90s, and just those really cheesy over-the-top jingles that we used to hear for Coke commercials, cereal commercials growing up, all that kind of stuff. And I think some people still think that the industry is stuck there, and that's really the only kind of music that gets placed. But if you actually turn on your TV and watch anything, you'll start to notice that there is modern rock music and really good rock music getting placed. There's EDM music, there's pop music, there's country, there's orchestral, there's corporate, there's trailer, minimal, tension, you name it, any sort of hybrid style of combining a couple of different genres. Some of the best music I've ever heard actually is in TV film. A lot of the music libraries that I partner with over the years, and a lot of the ones that I just sort of look up to in terms of they have some really high quality content, I usually end up becoming fans of the producers of those catalogs because it's just such high quality. It's just another world. If you went back in time 20 years, yeah, you probably didn't have that quality of music that was out there. It probably was a lot of this sort of MIDI karaoke style jingle, kind of not great music, but the entire industry has changed thanks to the internet and thanks to more people like you having access to technology, having access to DAW programs, software plugins, audio samples. You can literally have a world-class orchestra in your keyboard if you know how to use it correctly, right? You're not just tapping the keys. So it's not that world anymore. So that's the big misconception I want, if some of you guys have that's not what's happening. So I've been personally making pop, EDM, rock, a little bit of orchestral, some hip hop and trap. I've kind of gone into a few different genres, but when I first got started, I was a rock guy. That was really the only style that I did. And I made the exact kind of music that I was listening to on the radio. I was making Linkin Park style songs. I was listening to Head PE was another big band I was into. You name it. All the rap rock bands that were hot kind of in the mid-2000s, that's what I was sort of emulating and bringing on board. So no selling out happened then, and as I progressed more and more into the industry, I got requests for doing really cool, interesting new styles of music that never felt like, oh, you have to go make this cheesy thing that you don't really want to do. It was like, here, let's go try some chill step, or let's go try some trip hop. Let's try some melding some hip hop with rock and kind of mix those up a little bit more. There's just different things that I was doing throughout the years of my career, but it never was a sort of like, oh, I have to do that kind of music. Bummer. I never felt that way. I just was like, cool, this is a cool, interesting new style. Yeah, let me challenge myself, see if I can get into this. So again, some producers, when they hear this kind of stuff, they just get turned off because you're gonna make me make music that I don't just make all the time automatically. No thanks. I don't even want to go down that route. And if that's you, then just stop now. Don't get into sync licensing. Don't even get started, because you are going to be requested to do things from time to time and fairly consistently that maybe you don't feel like, yes, this is my 100% comfort zone. You might be stepping out of your comfort zone from time to time. So that's definitely going to be true. So that's the first point I want to point out to you guys. Certainly not for all composers. But the second part, which is probably the most important part of his comment, was he was saying that he was just more happy to have a day job, not pursue music licensing full time, and just make music for his own purposes, put it out online, even just for himself or whatever it was. He was going to do that. If that's 100% true and he's being honest with himself, I think he's absolutely correct. Like, if you really do just enjoy making music for your own purposes, you're not so interested in turning it into a full-time income for yourself, you actually dread the idea of it becoming your job, you think that you'd rather just keep it more as a hobby, a passion that you just want to do, and it just gives you fulfillment in life, absolutely do not pursue sync licensing. Just do what you're doing. Just keep the job, keep your income, pay your bills, and just make music for fun on the side in your free time, and keep it the thing that really enriches and makes your life enjoyable. Absolutely. There's no reason why you shouldn't do that. The flip side of that, though, is I do know, and I'm not accusing the subscriber of this, and I can't read his mind, I can't read anybody's mind, but I do know that there's a good chunk of producers out there, because I've interacted with many of them, and we've gone back and forth, and so I start to reveal this sort of story that they've been telling themselves as we interact, but there's a large chunk of producers out there that are saying that kind of same thing, but they don't really feel it, right? They still feel very unfulfilled, that they aren't being paid for their music. They aren't being sort of valued in a marketplace with real money and real placements and real exposure for their music. And they still feel the sense of they have a lot of value to give. They have a lot of effort they want to put into it. They have great music that they feel could be great for a certain licensing opportunity, but they just haven't gotten it yet. And so instead of just accepting the fact that they have some work to do, they need to learn, they need to understand how to create higher quality licensable tracks. If the tracks aren't there, they need to start learning how to partner with proper music libraries rather than just submitting their tracks to some, catalog company, or what do they call it? Cattle call company that just sends opportunities out to tens of thousands of producers, or you just upload your music up to this like anonymous website and you're just one out of 10,000 people up there. There's a much smarter, more methodical way to obviously get direct relationships to get better chances of placing your music in TV shows, movies, and commercials. And so I know that there is a sort of some percentage, I don't know what it is, of producers that actually aren't fulfilled because they have the day job just making music as their passion. They do want to get paid for that. But there's this temptation to blame the industry. And I don't know, again, what was in the subscriber's mind or heart. I have no idea. I'll assume he's 100% honest with himself, honest with what he's saying there, and that's great. And if he feels that way, 100% he's making the right choice by not even dealing with this. But if you go to this other place where you're saying, well, it's because the industry requires you to sell out. I hear this a lot with artists that never, their bands never took off, never got a record deal, that kind of a thing. A lot of times it comes down to, well, I just decided not to sell my soul. That's why we didn't go forward. But dig a little deeper, a lot of times that's not really what the case was, right? Either there was a bad deal in place, either there wasn't the sort of ability to keep building their fan base, or whatever it was, a problem member in the band, or somebody, or just not being consistent and always showing up with new content for there was something there that wasn't exactly just the fact that they decided not to sell out to the industry. Because usually if you're that driven by music, you'll find another way. Like if you feel that the only way to get success is by selling out, well, if you've got that drive and that passion to make music, like you'll figure out another pathway. There's been plenty of artists and musicians and bands that have been able to do it, staying true to their art, staying true to how they want to do it. It's absolutely been proven in every genre you can think of. Artists that never got a deal still blew up. Artists in every single style you can think of didn't have to go, the traditional path or make the sort of radio-friendly tracks or whatever it is you feel is selling out to find their fan base and create a full-time income. So if you have that passion, usually you push through just all of that resistance that you get in the industry. So the point of this video is for all of you that, I'm going to guess probably most of you guys are not in that path. I think most of you guys watching this video are dead set, or at least partially really interested in getting involved in sync licensing and getting paid and valued and being respected for your music in this side of the industry. So, but for those of you that are maybe in that path of like, well, no, it's kind of cool to learn about it, but I just, it's better just to have my day job and just make music. Just take 1 second right now and just take stock of that, right? If you're being honest with yourself and you can 100% look yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I absolutely am happy with my choices and I really like this path that I'm on in life and I want to keep music my passion and my joy, change nothing. Just keep going down that path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Obviously, it's working for you, right? But if there's a little doubt, if there's something in you that's like, I don't know if that's really it. Maybe I'm just a little bit frustrated that it hasn't worked yet for me. Maybe I'm just really insecure that I'm, maybe later on in life, 40s, 50s, whatever it is, and I'm still not seeing the results that I wanted to, and I'm a little bit embarrassed and kind of not happy about that, just angry about that I just have not gotten the results that I feel I should have with all the effort I poured into my music career. It's better to be honest about that now before too many years go on, because you definitely don't, whoops, almost knocked over my entire coffee mug. You don't want to become that old, bitter musician that's just complaining and trash talking the industry and talking about how it's all screwed up and how you had it all figured out and everything was great for you, but it's too bad that the industry didn't see your genius. You just don't want to become that bitter old person, because nobody's going to want to be around that. Nobody wants to hear that. Even your own family and friends are going to get tired of that kind of a talk coming out of you. So now is the time to just own that. If that's where you are, and it's not necessarily a contentment that you didn't succeed, but maybe more of a insecurity or not sure where to go or just angry that you didn't get that far, just own up to that now. Be honest with yourself now and make any change you need to make to start moving forward in the path that you do want to get out of life. You still have many years to go. I don't care how old you are. You've got many years to go, and you can absolutely get to your goals if you decide to be honest with yourself and ground yourself in what's really important to you and what really matters to you in life. I'm not here to make any of those choices for you. I cannot tell you at all what to do. I don't know what's going on inside your mind. I don't know what's happening in your family life, in your personal life. You've got many decisions and points of decisions to make in your trajectory going forward. But what I will definitely try to harp on you guys and encourage you with this video is be 100% honest with yourself. Just be very, very sure that you are content with the choices and the path that you are making with your career. It will definitely pay off many years, decades down the road. So let me know what you guys think below. Please leave a like if you found this useful, motivational, inspirational, whatever it is, or if you hated it, please let me know that as well. I love reading your guys' comments, so I can't wait to read what you guys post below this one.